Relationships can be like a delicate dance, where two people strive to maintain a harmonious rhythm. But when you love someone with an avoidant attachment style, this dance can become more challenging than ever. One day, they're close and warm. The next, they seem to step back, erecting an invisible wall to protect themselves. In those moments, how can you, someone with a secure and confident mindset, react wisely and lovingly? How can you handle this distance without letting it damage the relationship or your self-worth? In this video, we'll delve into the mind of a secure individual when faced with avoidance. We'll explore how they stay calm, communicate clearly, and most importantly, maintain their self-respect in seemingly challenging situations. Because your stability and maturity not only help you cope, but also lay the foundation for a more sustainable relationship, whether with that person or with yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on future articles and videos about psychology and love. Let's build healthy and meaningful relationships together. Number 1. Understanding avoidant attachment. Roots in emotional wounds. Conflict resolvers. Understanding the psychology of someone with an avoidant attachment style, especially the dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant types, is the first step towards empathy. But it's also a way for you to see your own limits in this relationship. For dismissive avoidant individuals, one of the strongest triggers is emotional intimacy. This isn't because they don't want to love or be loved, but because they have associated emotional closeness with deep hurt. Imagine a child growing up in an emotionally deprived environment, where their needs for love, connection, and sharing are not met. Instead of warm hugs and encouraging words, they face coldness, indifference, even criticism and blame. Gradually, that child learns that the world is not safe, that opening up, trusting, and relying on others only brings hurt and disappointment. As adults, these children carry an invisible scar, a vague fear of closeness and connection. They crave love, but at the same time they fear being hurt. They want to be close, but they are always vigilant, ready to switch on defense mode when they feel the relationship becoming too deep. Get lost. This painful experience teaches them a bitter lesson. If you rely on someone to meet your emotional needs, they will eventually reject or abandon you. And to protect themselves from the pain of abandonment, they develop a strong self-defense mechanism. They maintain emotional distance. Don't let anyone get too close, and don't let feelings become too deep. As the relationship becomes more committed, this closeness triggers a deep-seated fear of abandonment. Their nervous system goes into alarm mode, leading to a feeling of needing to create distance. Pushing their partner away is not a sign that they don't care, but a way to protect themselves from the feelings of helplessness and hurt deeply ingrained in their subconscious. While these fears stem from deep wounds, it doesn't mean you have to endure or sacrifice yourself to maintain the relationship. If you long for a relationship based on emotional intimacy, sincere communication, and consistency, where both grow together instead of growing apart, setting clear boundaries is essential. People with an anxious attachment style often fall into the trap of trying to compensate for their partner's avoidance. They may sacrifice all their own needs and desires, striving to please the other person in hopes of preventing them from leaving. They will communicate more, love more, empathize more, but these things, instead of pulling their partner closer, only make them feel more exhausted and anxious, because neglecting yourself has never been the answer to balance in a relationship. In any relationship, understanding the root of avoidant behavior can help you empathize, but at the same time you need to prioritize your own well-being. Remember, sacrificing yourself to maintain an unhealthy relationship does not bring happiness to anyone. A relationship is only truly worthwhile when both people overcome obstacles together, not when one person has to carry the emotional burden for both. Number 2, holding your ground. Protecting yourself when faced with distance. When faced with distance from an avoidant partner, secure individuals, those with confidence and a strong sense of self, don't shy away from their own emotions. They know that feeling anxious is a natural reaction when someone they love is pulling away. But what sets them apart is how they handle the situation. Instead of succumbing to fear or trying to cling, they choose clear communication and setting healthy boundaries. A secure individual will tell their partner, "Hey, I've noticed you've been a bit distant lately. Our communication has decreased. Are you still interested in the level of connection we have? Because I just want to let you know that this is what I expect. This is the level of communication I need in a relationship." This statement is not a pressure or criticism, but a kind affirmation of their own desires and needs. Secure individuals understand that being upfront about their emotions and boundaries is not a sign of clinginess or neediness. On the contrary, it's a courageous and healthy act, stemming from self-respect and appreciation for their relationship. They are not afraid of losing their partner because they know their worth is not dependent on someone else's presence in their life. Conversely, when you don't set boundaries, you can inadvertently push yourself into a never-ending cycle of hurt. You sacrifice your needs, endure silence or distance, and gradually feel like you're not important enough. Every time you ignore your needs to try to hold on to the relationship, you not only lose self-respect, but also deepen the pain. Such sacrifice never leads to true connection. It only makes you tired, insecure, and feel like you have to fight to be loved. Remember, a healthy relationship doesn't require you to give up on yourself. Clear communication and setting boundaries don't diminish love. They protect you from deep hurt and pave the way for genuine, equal connections. If the other person cannot meet your needs, then holding your ground is not an act that makes you lose them. It's an act that helps you keep yourself. Number 3, dealing with the avoidant partner's reaction when faced with distance. When you communicate with an avoidant person about emotional distance, they will often offer vague excuses like, "Work is too busy," "I have too much to do," or "I'm overwhelmed." These are not deliberate lies, but a way for them to protect themselves from feeling vulnerable, avoiding confrontation with their true emotions. Avoidant individuals tend to build a safety shell by minimizing the importance of the relationship or blaming external circumstances. Secure individuals, after communicating clearly and honestly, will observe the avoidant person's actions instead of just relying on their words. If their partner makes an effort to improve the connection, such as increasing interaction, showing care, or meeting clearly stated expectations, that's a positive sign. However, if they continue to maintain distance or even withdraw further, it's time for the secure individual to make an important decision. Secure individuals don't let themselves fall into the cycle of clinging or self-sacrifice. Instead, they enforce boundaries with respect and clarity. I've enjoyed the time we've spent together. However, it seems like we have different goals, different expectations in a relationship that ultimately don't align. I'm going to look for someone who fits what I need and want. Well past 5, noon at most, he said, as his phone began to ring. This is a difficult action because love and attachment always bring hope. But for secure individuals, self-respect is always a top priority. They understand that if their partner is unwilling or unable to meet their emotional needs, no amount of effort can change that reality. They also realize that continuing the relationship will only hurt them. Avoidant individuals, especially when pressured to change, often cannot meet those expectations. They are trapped in a pattern of focusing only on their own feelings and needs. The relationship then becomes one-sided, where the anxious partner tries their best to compensate for the distance while the avoidant partner only gives crumbs. These unanswered efforts lead to emotional exhaustion, deep insecurity, and a feeling of abandonment within your own relationship. Setting boundaries is not an easy choice, but it is essential to protect your worth and well-being. Fear of losing the relationship is why anxious individuals often hesitate. But ask yourself, is this really the relationship I want? A relationship where my needs are ignored and I have to serve the other person's needs? If the answer is no, then it's not love, it's a painful trade-off. When you don't set boundaries, you send yourself the message that my desires and feelings don't matter. You diminish your own worth, making it increasingly difficult to believe that you deserve to be loved fully and sincerely. Conversely, when you set boundaries, you affirm to yourself that I deserve respect, balance, and a relationship where we both build together. You not only protect your heart from unnecessary hurt, but also create space for healthy relationships where you are truly loved and cherished. Boundaries between you and your partner don't mean you're giving up. They are a courageous affirmation of self-worth and self-respect. It's how you tell yourself, I am strong enough to choose to love myself instead of trying to hold on to a one-sided relationship. Number 4. Choosing to love yourself before loving others. When you start prioritizing yourself, you send a powerful message to yourself. I deserve to be loved, respected, and I am strong enough to protect myself even in the most difficult circumstances. It's not just an act of affirming your self-worth, but also a way to show yourself that your emotions, needs, and desires are always worth listening to and fulfilling. Setting boundaries can be easy when you don't have deep feelings for the other person, but when love is involved, setting boundaries not only becomes more difficult, it becomes even more crucial. Without boundaries, you will continue to prolong an unhealthy relationship, a dead-end relationship that no longer brings value to either party. This will not only drain your emotional energy, but also waste precious time on someone unwilling to invest in you. Conversely, when you set boundaries, you allow yourself to escape the negative cycle of a one-sided relationship. You free yourself from futile clinging and open up the opportunity to find someone who truly values you. Someone who is not only willing to meet your needs and desires, but also invests in the relationship with sincerity and effort commensurate with what you have given them. Never diminish your self-worth to try to hold on to a relationship. Your wants and needs are not demands or burdens. They are an essential part of who you are. Standing your ground and asserting what you need in a kind and empathetic way is not selfish. It's an expression of self-respect. Remember, someone truly worthy won't make you feel guilty for wanting to be loved and respected. Ultimately, setting boundaries is not just about protecting yourself from hurt, but also about directing your life towards worthwhile relationships. Believe that when you choose to put yourself first, you not only find happiness, but also attract those who are worthy of your love and investment. Remind yourself, I am worthy of being loved fully, and I will not accept anything less. When loving someone with an avoidant attachment style, you will face significant challenges. But remember, a relationship should never be a place where you lose yourself to keep someone else. How you handle distance not only defines the relationship, but also shapes your own worth. The journey of love is never easy, especially when you have to face distance and emotional walls from the other person. But within those challenges, you have the opportunity to discover your own strength. Setting boundaries is not about giving up on love, but about choosing to love yourself enough to not accept less than you deserve. A healthy relationship does not require the complete sacrifice of individual desires and needs, but is a place where both strive to understand, meet, and appreciate each other. When you know how to hold your ground, you not only protect your heart, but also send a powerful message. I am worthy of being loved sincerely and fully. Whether you and your partner overcome this challenge or not, the important thing is that you have learned to value yourself. And from there, you will open a new path where meaningful relationships and true connection await you. Always remember, true happiness never comes from clinging to someone, but from finding peace and strength within yourself. Leave a comment and share your thoughts below. Have you ever faced distance from an avoidant partner? How did you overcome it? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss more meaningful sharing about psychology and love. Together, we can build healthy and happy relationships.